Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Welcome to the Agrihood. Carnes Crossroads is a new home community with a farm-to-table lifestyle. Just outside of Charleston, here, community is defined by gathering together and our deep connection to nature. Our future farm and amenities are taking root and blooming into something you've always dreamed of in a fun, healthy, and social environment. Come home to the Agrihood, where you can plant roots and thrive.
Learn more at carnescrossroads.com.
Hey, Monique, how are you? Monique, you didn't tell Eric about this meeting, did you? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, every Wednesday she has her like church thing, so she logs in under hers. And then
Oh my God. And you don't catch fire?
I do not. I'm saying you would. I think you would catch fire probably a little bit more than I would.
Yeah, probably. Let me turn down the TV.
My kids keep taking my damn headphones, and it's driving me insane. I'm gonna beat them.
That's what I do.
Yeah. It's like, why the hell did you take my headphones?
I don't have much of a life. So while I'm working here at my desk, I have the TV set on like a whole bunch of just rerun shows, and I've gone through all like 54 seasons of the Mythbusters, and now I'm on season 1 of American Choppers.
Oh man, see, it's funny because you wind up watching the same shows. I do the same thing, except for me, it's like old TV shows. So I watch Columbo.
Oh God,
MASH.
really?
Yeah, I love Columbo.
Do you have
Columbo.
do you have a jacket? Do you have one of those
I do
streaker jackets or whatever?
I do not. But Columbo, MASH, X-Files. Trying to think of what else. There's just, like, certain shows where I just watch all the damn time. Like I just watch the entire like series.
Yeah, it's like everything's at your disposal now. So all these shows that I'm like, oh, I had to buy DVDs for, like The Simpsons back in the day. You know, I can watch whenever I want to. Now I'm not watching The Simpsons because of my podcast with my daughter called Once Upon a Time in Springfield, which you can find on her.
I also thought it was really appropriate, the song that you played at the very beginning.
You like that, huh?
I did. Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, that's because of something that happened.
I mean, listen, we might as well talk about it. Listen, everybody out there, it's really important for you to know. I had a hangnail. I pulled on it a little bit. It caused my finger to bleed. It's a big story. I'm sure Chris and I are going to spend the next 35 minutes talking about it, unless you had any bigger injury that might take precedent. That's definitely the one that I thought we would be talking about.
Well, I did get a paper cut on my pinky. And my knee, I hit the ground on my knee. When I did that, I cut my head open.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you sent me a picture out of nowhere. By the way, just a few days before your birthday, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much.
Just a few days before your birthday, you send me a picture out of the blue, and it's a close-up of your face, which is always scary. And it was a little scarier than normal when you had I'm going to say a full 6-inch gash from the top of your forehead almost down to your nose. And this was not like a cut. This was your face opened up to the world, to like where you could see your skull. I think I could see fragments of bone, and there was like 972 stitches or whatever in your face. And you literally look like Frankenstein, but you're going to have to tell us what happened.
Okay, well, I think he's inflating it a little bit. Not much.
Nope. This is exactly what it looks like.
You said 742 stitches. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So you were only off by 700 or so.
Wow.
So, but you were close. You were close. But no, I went skydiving. I didn't have a parachute. I figured, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I want to. And I did. I jumped out of a plane and I landed on my feet. But then when I landed on my feet, I fell forward.
That's really what happened. You hurt your face skydiving?
No, actually, I was in a car accident. I was driving down the freeway on my Maserati, and cut me off. And
wait, which Maserati? Because you have 3.
Doesn't matter. No, actually,
here's how I think it happened. Here's how I envision it.
Go ahead.
All right. I envision it as it involved a ladder. I'm thinking a ladder's involved. I'm thinking one of those, your ladder, the top step of your ladder couldn't quite get you to where you needed to go. And so you had to go up to that very top step that everyone always hates getting to, but you have to go to sometimes. And you stumble. It went out from underneath you and you fell and hit your face on the way down. That's how I envision that happen. And then I envision your entire family pissing on your face as you were bleeding to death.
Well, no, that's not what happened toward the end. But no, I did fall off a ladder, but I was putting my lights up in June for my birthday. So I was actually outside decorating my house for Christmas during my birthday time, and I fell off a ladder and I landed on Iron Man's mask.
Ah, yes, that's the that's the oldest story in the book. I mean, we all have had one of those happen to us.
Now, there's one time though, the other day when my head got cut open, I actually I was cliff diving, and I didn't jump far enough. And the cliff bit me. Any of these working for you at all?
How about you had like an itch on your forehead and you went to go scratch it, but you didn't realize that you had a meat cleaver in your hand and you just pulled it down the entire length of your face?
No, my wife hits me.
That's very believable.
I know.
The fact that Evelyn doesn't beat you secretly is actually the most surprising thing to have come out of this. I would suspect that she would be completely tired of you, as my wife is of me, and just secretly punches you at night. And she went a little too far.
She did. She actually used a frying pan this time. It kind of hurt, but I did see the little birdies above my head, so it was kind of fun. I was like, no, but God, what was I going to tell you?
Maybe the real story of how you split your face open.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that yet. But I can tell you that you had
it's a new reality show called Scarface, and you were trying to make sure that they took your video application seriously, so you did self-harm.
At least, yes, but at least I didn't pick taser face. So, but what is that noise? What is happening in the house? What I was gonna say was that something I don't remember now. Damn it! I reminded myself twice.
Could it be that concussion that you have from whatever split your head open?
I had, but it was something quite smart. Oh, you got pictures before anyone else. You got it kind of like around the time that happened, so nobody else really saw anything until after my wife posted the video of me getting that barbecue.
Yes.
So, but people don't know, if you don't know, my wife bought me a barbecue for my birthday. It's a Blackstone.
It's an awesome one. It has a flat top on it. Yeah, it's great.
I love it. But what she posted was a video of me pretending to be Benihana. I didn't do so well, but that's what people thought. People thought that I was Benihana and too much, and I hit myself in the forehead with like a spatula. But you knew
that would actually be pretty funny, because, by the way, if you could do that much damage with a spatula, they need to put warning labels on spatulas.
They do, and they also need to hire me at every restaurant ever. No, what really happened is the cops were chasing me down the street. I was running in my flip-flops and I fell.
That's why you never run from the cops in flip-flop. It's actually better to ditch the flip-flops and go barefoot. It's just a smoother transition, and it'll you can climb things a little easier. I mean, that I know, because I run from them almost weekly, so I could have warned you about that.
Well, the fun part is I flied. That's how good I'm doing right now.
Wow, I'm telling you, that concussion is really lingering.
I flew 30 hours after it happened, so I was like, "Do you think they'll let me on?" But luckily, apparently, you can wear your beanie through security. But it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, they're probably just thinking you're like a crazy psychopath, and they're like, because only a psychopath would wear a beanie when it's 112 out, and they probably just didn't want to mess with you.
Yeah, with the beanie, the sunglasses, and the mask, I definitely looked like I was about to rob a bank. Or I just got released from a mental institution. So you decide which one you think better. I'll decide on my own. But no, what really happened was I was saving a little kid from the middle of the street, and I pushed him out of the way, and I got hit by a car.
Yeah. I mean, and luckily, it didn't do much damage because your face always looked like that.
Mostly, but when I did hit the car with my butt, it stopped it, and then it kind of came back and hit me in the head.
I thought you were trying to recreate that famous Kim Kardashian photo shoot where she has a champagne glass on her butt and she's popping the champagne and it's going up and over her and landing on her butt in the glass, and you misjudged it and the cork hit your face.
And it blew.
And I thought that was how it happened.
That actually be a better story than how it really happened. And how it really happened was I was at the UFC fight. I was pissed off, so I jumped into the ring and I beat everybody up.
And you only had that one little bit of damage is all that you sustained.
No, my knee hurts a little bit too because I need someone in the head. But other than that, I was fine.
Yeah,
was that anything like ringing a bell here yet?
Yeah, I think that the truth lies in there somewhere. I also heard that you were leaving Evelyn for your mistress, or Mister as we would call him, Edward Scissorhands, who you've been seeing on the side, who during passionate lovemaking cut up your face.
I wouldn't call it passionate, but yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
No, actually, I was auditioning for a Wipeout and I got knocked out.
Ah, yes. Which, by the way, weren't you on Wipeout?
No, but I auditioned a long time ago. But that's
I was gonna say, I remember you and I have auditioned for so many damn TV shows and stuff. I can't remember which ones we got and which ones we didn't get.
I just got hit up for supermarket sweep, so which I'm kind of excited for. I might try to go do.
Oh, I would totally. Oh man, I'd love to. I used to love the old version of the show. I don't know how much the new one is good. The old version
rocks. All right, so what really happened was my son was playing with my lightsaber and he hit me in the face.
Oh, because you got one of those real authentic ones, right?
That's not what happened, though, but that was more believable. I don't know if I want to tell you or not. It's kind of, I don't want to, toot my own horn. I don't.
So my thinking is that it's something that's incredibly embarrassing, and so you don't want to say anything. Like you want it to be a cool story, but it's something as simple as you were like in your garage getting something and something fell off the top shelf and hit you in the head, and it's that boring. And so you just don't want to admit it.
All right. Well, let's think about things that could have fallen off the top shelf in my garage.
Table saw.
Table saw. Yeah, that's where
you keep your table saws like on a reciprocating saw, a reciprocating saw, handheld reciprocating saw that you had up on the shelf, and you were getting something down, and you looked up just as it was falling down.
My luck would be, I think a little bit more believable story in my life would be, I was laying in bed looking at my phone, and it fell and hit my forehead and cut it open.
Yeah, what do you have? That's a sharp phone. What do you have? The old razor?
Do you get that? I have the razor.
Yeah, I said it at the same time. Yeah.
Oh.
The razor phone.
I have the razor. You get it?
Yeah.
You write it down?
I wrote it down. That's very, very clever. Yeah, I still think it had either something fell from a great height and hit you, or you fell from a great height and hit something.
I appreciate the great height aspect, but I'm only 5'11", so unless of course I was on a ladder.
Well, to be fair, you're 5'11", but only when you're wearing heels.
Yeah, but you let me borrow them all the time, and they're cute, so it's all good.
This is true. That's because I'm 5'8", and I want to be 5'11", so I have to wear heels.
So I was actually at a concert, and I stage dove, and nobody caught me.
You know what's funny is, of all the things that we've listed, the one that you just mentioned about being at a concert and stage dove is the least believable, because you live in California and Gavin Newsom does not allow those types of things to happen.
But that's how it happened.
Go to concerts anymore. So that what's funny is, I think you auditioned for Wipeout and cut open your face is more believable than you were in California and you had permission to go to a concert.
No, it's true though. Nobody was at the concert. That's why I fell onto the floor. I just jumped off an empty stage.
Oh, because you're so used to there being a crowd there, and since there's only like 3 people allowed into the concert, they couldn't handle your weight as you dove off the stage.
Yeah, somebody yelled, "Do you want to rock?" And then my instant reaction is to jump off a stage.
And for some reason, you were up on stage. I mean, I don't understand how that worked, but
I built the stage, and it was for my chickens, but still, that doesn't matter. I was still on a stage. No, I was playing with an axe and I hit myself in the head.
I could see that. That I had a friend one time that was very drunk and he had a very sharp knife. This was not like a kitchen knife. This was like a kind of like almost like a machete. And he was screwing around with it. And he was really drunk. And he said, we had otter pops, like the old otter pops, and we wanted to cut them in half to split them amongst the people. And he goes, "Hey," he was really, he was hammered. "Hey, I bet you I can throw these in the air and cut them." And I said, "Do me a favor, swing this way," meaning horizontal, not this way, meaning vertical. Like, don't swipe at yourself. So if you're gonna do this, throw it up in the air and swing like a baseball bat. Don't swing straight down. Yeah. I got it. And he throws it up in the air and he goes, swing, thud, right into his thigh and his knee.
Oh,
and it was so hard and with so much force, it stuck into the bone.
wow.
And then he looks up with a panicked look on his face, like, "Oh my God, what did I just do?" And we at first were scared.
Okay. I mean,
then we laughed hysterically.
No, I'm sure you laughed first, and then you were.
I was absolutely the one who did laugh first. And then the only thing that makes that entire story funnier is the only person. There was a doctor there who had a medical bag with him. He happened to be there. Except for he was really drunk too. So when he went to go get his medical bag, he came back with a shot full of stuff to like numb the thing, and he was going to give him stitches right there. And while he's pushing on the plunger to for the shot, like testing out, you know how they push it and like a little bit leaks out the top. He's so drunk. He's walking towards him. He's like, "Okay, we're going to get this taken care of," and he trips and falls with the needle. And so that made us laugh even more because the guy who was about to perform surgery on the drunk guy being an idiot was also a drunk idiot, which we thought was hilarious.
Well, it's good to know the theme of our show is don't believe anything the other one says.
Yeah. So now the real reason that you did this was it was like an art exhibit type thing. Like you were really trying to show it. It was symbolic of the sacrifices that we've had to make under the pandemic. And you were trying to do like a demonstration, like it was an artistic demonstration.
Artistic or autistic? I was kind of
well, you are autistic, but it was an autistic artistic expression.
Well, no, actually, I figured I can paint my nails all I want, but people do that. So I have to stand up above the crowd, and figured if I cut my head open, I'll be cast for more movies. I'll be like, "Hey, yeah, that guy with a scar forehead."
Yeah, you're just trying to get a little bit more like recognizable. I mean, you do kind of blend in with every other person that submits their headshots. But when you submit your headshot, people go, "Oh my God, what the hell is that on his face? Let's cast him in this movie about monsters."
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm cast as the what's the one where I'm a biker?
Yeah.
Or I'm an alien. I'm like Taserface, but I have.
Well, you have the big biker beard. So you're just trying to audition as like the person in the biker gang in all these TV shows and movies that gets like murdered first in the biker gang shootout. And you just are like, "Hey guys, no makeup needed. I got this handled."
Yeah, Mayans. I could totally be in Mayans.
Yeah, you were basically it was like a really serious Mayans audition.
You know, I could just literally rip my stitches out and they could just film me bleeding. That's probably not.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The you know what? Stitches have gotten better. I had a really bad knee injury when I was a kid. I ran through a glass door.
Okay,
and for you. Yeah.
How many stitches have you had in your life?
Oh God.
You say that, and I'm like 1.
Wow. I'm easily over 200 stitches.
Damn, no wonder your knee's effed up. And that's probably
easily. I mean, my knee alone, that one knee injury was around 60 stitches. And what that did to my leg, that was just that by itself. Plus you combine all the other shit I've done and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm easily at 200 stitches.
But you never had them staple your stomach. I don't know what
I didn't. And yet, you know what, but what it is I was a snitch, and you know how it is. Snitches get stitches. And I was constantly snitching.
Yeah, you were snitching all the time. Hence the reason that your wife married you at 12.
Yes. and I even told on myself on that. I went to the cops and said I married a 12-year-old and I got more stitches.
And all they did is hit you in the knee. That's all they did. They're like, whatever.
I think what you should have done is hidden in the real story of how you messed up your face in there somewhere so that it was
They had to guess.
Yes.
How do you know it's not in there somewhere? Huh?
I would say the most believable one out of all of them is you were hanging Christmas lights really early for your birthday.
Yeah, that's pretty believable.
Because it would be something totally stupid like that. You know, it's funny because it's like a black eye story, right? Like the real story of how you get a black eye is never as interesting as what people think happened. And that's my guess as to what this is. This is not like you were in a Fast and Furious type drifting race that went awry when your car flipped and you and Paul Walker died in a Porsche. I don't think it's anything cool like that. I think it's literally going to be like you were imitating the guy at Benihana's and you were chopping wildly and laughing and you chopped a little too wildly and cut your own face. It's going to be something like that.
Nah, it wasn't the Benihana thing, even though that was quite hilarious. I didn't think about that until people started telling me about it. I thought that was fun. But no, I mean, when you're chasing a criminal that just, robbed a store and you tackle them, you're going to hit your head on the ground probably. So we'll get there one day. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you the real story.
All right.
I fell.
And what were you doing when you fell?
Pretty much sleeping. I got up in the middle of the night to the restroom and then I fell. I'm not 100% sure why, but our sliding glass door was open a little bit and that's right next to the bathroom door. Mm-hmm. And it was open enough where that
Chris, you pee outside, so every door is the bathroom door.
It was too late at night. You know how it's too late at night where you sit down because you don't want to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was one of those. And then I got up and then I was walking back to the bed and I woke up on the floor bleeding everywhere. And I hit the.
Was this like a you passed out kind of thing or you tripped?
I don't know. And the funny thing is I wasn't drunk enough or had been drinking enough to blame it on that, which I kind of wish I was, but I can't. I went to the restroom and I got up and I was like half asleep and I just woke up on the floor. So it sucked because it bled a lot and the wife was like freaking out and the kids all saw it. But
the kids came in.
Oh yeah, it was only like midnight. It wasn't even that late. We were in bed early. It was like old people stuff, and I hate saying that. It's so true though. Or I was just auditioning for Harry Potter. You decide.
Yes, I think it could be any one of those things. Well,
Harry Potter, the older years.
Are you going to? Because all joking aside, that is a pretty. As someone who has had a lot of wounds and surgeries and issues and stuff like that, I got to say that's a serious cut. Like that was not a baby cut. That was man injury, is what that was. You're gonna be okay, and it's no long-term damage or anything.
Yeah, no, I had a CT scan. They said everything was okay or they wouldn't have sent me home. However, I half believe that because I'm myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I went to the ER that night. Nobody could go in with me. So Evelyn and her dad sat outside in the car, my wife and her dad. And then I was in there for about 2 hours. The nurse, the guy was stitching me up. He goes, "You're way more fun than those other people." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "They all have colds. You have a hole in your head. Let's do this."
Yeah. You have a freaking gash, man.
Yeah.
Like that's like shark attack gash size.
Yeah,
that's pretty serious. Like I said, I knew the story would be something lame because it always is. It's always like I tripped and fell because I stepped on like the cat or something. Like it's always something like that. It's never anything cool, which is why you should find out what your story is going to be and then just stick with it. So come up with it's got to be like 75% believable.
Yeah, which I'm going to get there. I'm trying to feel out which one of those scenarios will hit.
You were training. Okay. You were ready to quit the podcasting world and follow your dream since you were a little boy of being a helicopter pilot. And on your first day of training, I forgot to duck.
You know what? That's pretty believable because I do want to learn how to fly a helicopter.
And I've always dreamt of dying in a helicopter. So honestly, I think we can get together on this one.
Yeah, no, I'll learn to fly and then you'll learn to die when I fly you around.
Yeah, that sounds like a great shirt. Put that on a shirt.
I'll learn to fly, you learn to die?
Yeah.
Is that like I'll fly, you buy?
That's our new podcast. It's going to be the one when I just commit suicide at the end of the season. It's weird. It's just one like leading up to it. I'll learn to fly, you learn to die.
You're going to like jump out of the helicopter or what?
Yeah.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Something like that.
It'll be like MASH when you're laying on the side. You'll just kind of roll off. You like old movies and stuff.
I do. And by the way, I love MASH. That's like one of my favorites. Okay, let's change the subject to something that doesn't involve, faces melting off and stuff like that. I want to bring up. So obviously, I love music. I do have a podcast called Listen to This, which a new season, by the way, is coming out very, very soon. In fact, just in a few weeks. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had its 2021 inductees.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty diverse list, and I want to kind of get your feedback on some of these. If you thought what your kind of thoughts were on some of these, or if you have any thoughts about the artists themselves. So I was going to start with like Tina Turner. I thought she totally deserved to be in, right? She's a legend. She's been around forever.
Not to mention she got the shit beat out of her a lot.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, listen, she had a movie made about her. I think that automatically gets you in.
Yep.
Carole King, fantastic songwriter. Little known fact, her album Tapestry was the #1 selling album of all time until it got beaten by the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which then got beaten by Michael Jackson's Thriller.
And then got beaten by Eminem's Slim Shady.
Next up in there was the Go-Go's. I thought that was long overdue. They were the first female band that played their own instruments and wrote their own songs to have a #1 record.
Why didn't you wake me up before this?
I didn't want to wake you up before you go.
Okay, just making sure.
Next up, Jay-Z. I think that's another no-brainer, right? I mean, in the rap game, I mean, he's obviously kind of a grandfather at this point in the industry, and so I thought that was kind of a no-brainer.
You think they put him in because he's honestly it's early for him, like Jay-Z's not that old. It
is a little early. Yeah, you're right.
But he did, however, he has spread the wealth, and he's always he had his label and everything. So and he married Beyonce for one. So but it's not like, he's been pretty selfish about the whole thing. So he's kind of showed the love. So I think maybe I kind of agree. Like it could have waited. Like he easily could have been voted, because he definitely deserved to be in. But I could have seen him being voted in like 4 or 5 years from now. Yeah, so it is a little early, and that's true with our next artist, which once again totally deserves to be in. But it was like, wow, that's kind of quick. The Foo Fighters, who, like I said, great rock act, great live act, a legend in the industry. They're definitely one of the better bands of our recent times. But I just thought to myself, like, you couldn't have inducted them like 8 years from now. Like they're in there now. Okay, cool. That's great. I love that they're in there, but I just thought that was a little early. I just feel like if they've released new music in the last like 2-3 years, that's very successful pop music, that like you're in a Hall of Fame yet. You're kind of still just like you're still doing great. Don't get me wrong, but I see like, 60s, 70-year-oldish people that have. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dave Grohl is amazing. He was Nirvana. He is now Foo Fighters, but still, they could induct Dave Grohl, but that would be insulting to the band. So I just right, because they already did Nirvana, right? Yeah, so they already did Nirvana. Nirvana's in, and the Foo Fighters do deserve to be in. But yeah, I just thought it was a little early. They could have waited and got someone else in. Then the one I completely don't understand is they inducted Todd Rundgren. Now, you probably won't even know who Todd Rundgren is, which is exactly my point. If you can't freaking name 3 Todd Rundgren songs, which I'm guessing that you can't, I don't think he deserves to be in. He was a rock guy in the 70s and into the 80s. He had a couple of hits. Well, if I remember him correctly, he had that one song called what's his name again? Todd Rundgren. Yeah, he had this song called I'm Todd Rundgren. He's like, I'm Todd Rundgren. Is that wow, really? Is that how it another song called I'm Tom Rudkin? It's like he had a what was his AKA? Was it Eminem? Yeah, Eminem, Slim Shady. Yeah. So he had that with all those other songs kind of like in the early 2000s, late 90s. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I mean, come on. I just thought that was weak. Then the other one that I thought is just
someone's going to have to explain to me, how did LL Cool J get nominated? Not only inducted, how did he even get nominated? He had one song that was really popular, Mama Said Knock You Out, which wasn't even really that good. If you actually go back and listen to the song, it's literally just him saying Mama Said Knock You Out about 48 to 78 times in the song. And go ahead, name one other song from LL Cool J. How is he influential of a lot of people? He's more famous for his acting and TV work than he is for his music, but yet he gets it. I think that one was one of those, they're trying to do more black people kind of thing. And so, hey, let's throw LL Cool J in. But they could have picked someone way better. I don't think he deserved to be in.
Well, I could tell you that he was my first concert I ever saw. So that means he was probably doing this thing when early 20s back then, and I was way younger. So he's probably way old. And I mean, and if that whole term "black don't crack" is real, then he might be like 99 years old, and they just want to slide him in before he dies. No?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's their description of why LL Cool J was, because they do like a little synopsis of why each one was elected. It says LL Cool J delivered both hardcore rap and sexy love songs with swagger still heard in hip hop today. Yeah, except for a million other people did that exact same thing, and they had better hits.
Yeah, I agree. Like R. Kelly. You think he'll ever be inducted?
Nah, I think I think he would be really pissed if he got that nomination.
Ouch! I like that. Hold on, where's my little sound effects? Hold on, don't move. Dang it! This is not. There we go.
There it is. You got there.
Hey, we should be better at this. By the way, my name's Chris Donovan. That's Eric Lecky. What are we, 25, 30 minutes into the show?
Oh, yeah. That's great, though. That's really good that you even remembered to still introduce it. I got one other thing before I get to a game that you didn't even know we were going to play.
Oh, shit.
Did you watch the In the Heights movie, the new Lin-Manuel Miranda follow-up to Hamilton? Well, it's kind of a follow-up because it technically came before Hamilton, but this is the first time it's being a movie.
I have not not seen it yet. Is it good?
You were too busy cutting your face open.
You are letting me show my face shut.
It is not only in theaters, it's streaming on HBO Max, and of course can be found on whatever streaming service you like to illegally subscribe to that's run by overseas people that stream movies for free. And I will tell you that we watched it with the family. We enjoyed it. It was good. Definitely not in the same class as Hamilton. I mean, in my opinion, not even close. I thought Hamilton was brilliant. I thought this one was just good. You know, it was good. It was decent. It was fun.
It was his first at bat, wasn't it?
It was actually before Hamilton was even a thing. This was a plan, and you can kind of tell it's dated. I mean, during the movie, you can tell that it's almost like it seems like it takes place in like the year like 2008 because it did. And they didn't like update it. So it's kind of like dated to about 2008 in its time frame. So it's a little older, but it was good. But the bigger story that I wanted to kind of get to that really, it just really irked me the wrong way. This cancel culture, nonsense, woke bullshit stuff that's driving me insane. Yeah. So Lin-Manuel Miranda had to come out and apologize and issue an actual statement of apology for the movie.
What movie? That movie?
For that movie, because he is getting flack that there was not enough Afro-Latino representation in the movie. Now, I would like to point out that there is one white person in the entire movie, and he's not really a bad guy, but he's in there for 15 seconds, and he runs the dry cleaners that everyone hates because he's like the new white guy in town and all that. So he's kind of a villain, even though he's not really. There's no villains in the story. So, but there's only one of those. It's a cast full of Latinos from all different areas. There's Cuba, Dominican Republic, Panama. I mean, they go over the whole list of just every Latin country you could think of. There's a black guy in the movie who's a major central role. They speak in Spanish in many parts of the movies. It is as diverse of a cast. In fact, if anything, it's not diverse enough because there was literally no white people, but whatever. But there's so as diverse as can possibly be. But he had to say, well, there wasn't any of the Afro Latinos, and they're mad that he didn't give them representation as well. And he had to do this really long statement. I mean, you could read it online. I'm not going to go into it. It's pathetic that he had to do it. And it drives me nuts because here's a guy who, by the way, you want to talk about representation. He turned the entire cast of white people that would have been Hamilton into a cast of no white people, except for the funny King George songs. and no one had a problem with it. Everyone was cool. It's worldwide phenomenon that everyone loved. No one cared. The fact that we're going after this guy, by the way, how many jobs for minorities has Lin-Manuel created? When he was sitting down with that yellow legal pad and he was writing out all of these songs and the script and all that, that one little yellow legal pad has led to jobs for actors, actresses, production crew, grips, craft services, the cameraman, the sound guy, whatever. And I'm sure a lot of those guys were all minorities and girls were all minorities, makeup people. He's created tons of jobs, paid tons of taxes. He casts colorful characters from other cultures that everyone from every culture enjoys, but yet he is still somehow the bad guy because he wasn't diverse enough. And it just really drives me nuts.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Breathe. Just breathe a little bit. Get some oxygen in your lungs. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. Screw those people. No, I think it's bullshit. I think that I didn't see it online, but if it's anything like I've seen in the past, it's stupid. He's given more than people in this. He's given more in the world than, he's taken in a sense. So he's good in my book. Like, screw all that bullshit. It's like people just need something to complain about, and they want to be able to be famous and complain about it. So that's why, that's all social media is complaining and trying to be famous about it.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish from this. Like, are we supposed to, we don't want every movie to look like a freaking commercial. You know how like every commercial, it's like, hey, here's this commercial and there's a bunch of people sitting on a couch and it's an Asian woman and a guy in a wheelchair and a black guy and a LGBTQ person. And it's like every commercial is like a group of friends sit around and they're all of different races. Yeah. Are we going to have to get to a point where movies have to be all of those things to even cast it as a movie? I mean, it's just stupid.
Hope not, because Crazy Rich Asians was a great movie. Like,
By the way, the director of the movie was the guy who directed Crazy Rich Asians, who's also an Asian. I mean, they had like nothing but minorities, and they were mad that there wasn't enough minorities. And I just think you can't make these people happy. And so as a culture, we should just decide, stop apologizing for it. Stop apologizing. Tell them to go fuck themselves and that you don't care. That's what people need to start doing. Because when you apologize, it doesn't actually solve anything. They just now realize that they can come after you again.
Yep, you admit guilt immediately if you apologize. And honestly, if it's something as simple as that, when you know you've done so much more for it, then again, I wouldn't apologize. Again, I'm not going to apologize probably for anything ever. But then again, I'm not famous.
Yeah, you're right.
I ever get to be. You'll be my spokesperson.
Okay, good. Okay, I would like to play the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Oh, hooray for Hollywood. It's really got me. Hooray, 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 hooray for Hollywood.
Okay, so it's our game where we try and pick the critic scores for movies. And we always have a theme, and today's theme is people with horrible scars and deformations on their face.
I'm going to be really sad if Lion King is not one of these movies.
I took it. It was on my short list, and I took it off. But the first one,
his name is Scar, for Christ's sake.
I know. But so the first one is from 1985, and it might as well be a biography of what you look like now. The movie stars Cher, Eric Stoltz, and Sam Elliott, and was directed by Peter Bogdanovich. And the synopsis of the movie is this: a teenager with a massive facial skull deformity and a biker gang mother attempt to live as normal of a life as possible under the circumstances. The movie is Mask. Do you remember this movie?
Yes.
His name is Rocky Dennis.
Yeah, no, I remember the movie, and you're an asshole.
This is why I was very excited to play this game.
Oh my God, you're such a jerk. Yeah, no, I remember this movie. I don't think I ever watched it all the way through because I just didn't want to have to stare at the TV at Cher for that long because she just disgusts me.
You're not a Cher fan.
No, I still have nightmares of that whole video of her being on that ship. But beside all that,
with wearing like nothing and her butt being exposed.
Yeah, wearing something Borat does. But beside all, no.
Yeah, that's true. That was a very skimpy outfit. Yeah,
the movie, whatever. But you're a jackass. It probably did well because it was about exclusivity and stuff. So I'm gonna say a 75.
75. Now, I remember this. Now, this is one of those movies I probably haven't seen in 25 years, something like that. I probably saw it when I was a teenager. Um, I remember it as being a pretty good movie.
Yeah, but you also have Columbo, so that's debatable.
Hey, Columbo is awesome, man.
Mm.
I'm kind of right there with you. I want to say it gets some points for diversity. I'm going to say 70 points.
It's like we have a deformed person. Everybody's still white, but we have a deformed person.
Okay, now this next movie has been made actually quite a few times with the same name, but one is more famous than others. It's loved by every rapper for some reason, and that would be Al Pacino's Scarface from 1983. Basically, it's a 1980 Miami Cuban immigrant takes over a drug cartel and just succumbs to greed and violence and all that kind of stuff, and it's Scarface. See what I did there with that one?
Yeah, I did.
Scarface.
I honestly think this is the reason I have these stitches in the scar on my forehead, because I've never seen this movie all the way through.
It's actually not really that good of a movie. That's the funny thing. Like I mean, maybe the score is different, but I never really enjoyed this movie as like a movie. It's just more known for its "say hello to my little friend."
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that happens with it. So yeah, so I remember that. But it also Al Pacino. It also was around the Godfather times, or not right before, right? You're the old person.
Yeah, this is just a few years after. I mean, this is like within 4 to 5 years after the second Godfather.
Okay, I'd say just because it's Al Pacino and it says that line, and
also written by Oliver Stone, directed by Brian De Palma, so you know it's going to get the points for that.
All the neat people in Hollywood at the time. So I'm still going to say, in taking your I'm gonna say 75 again, just because you said it, you didn't like it that much.
And you know what? I'm gonna do 70 again. So 75 and 70 again on those same ones. Okay, next up, because we only do 3, or else I would do Lion King, Scar, and a few other ones. This one doesn't have Scar in the title and is not about a deformed person, but man, the bad guy in this movie has a big old scar running right down the length of his face. This is the sequel that came out in 2002, and it's Austin Powers Goldmember.
I'm Dr.
Do you remember Dr. Evil's scar? That's exactly how I picture your scar. Basically, this one is the one that has Beyonce in it, and it's upon learning that his father had been kidnapped, Austin Powers travels back to 1975 to defeat the villain named Goldmember, who is working with Dr. Evil. Mike Myers, Beyonce, Seth Green, all of the members that you would anticipate before. But of course, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me, that scar is just exactly what I think of when I saw that picture of you.
Well, thank you, I guess. That's better than Matt. Rip Vern Troyer, by the way. God, these movies.
This is one where like Beyonce's boobs were in top notch. If you look at any pictures of this, they were really trying to feature her boobs in like every photo and in every like scene or screenshot or whatever. Like if you literally just type it in and you find the first picture you find of Beyonce, it's like, holy God, look at them boobies.
Don't they have like guns that come out of them? Some of the girls.
That was in part 1. I don't know if they had that one in part 2. Part 1 had the little vixen girls that had booby guns.
I think you like these movies too much.
I think I do.
I think
now we all know this can't. The critics had to have the critics hate this kind of movie. They never have liked Mike Myers. They typically do not like comedies, anyways. Much less do they like comedies that are like kind of stupid comedies, which is what this is.
Yep.
So I don't think we ever. But let me ask you this: Did you like the whole Austin Powers franchise?
I thought there were a few characters and moments throughout the movies, but all together they're not on the top. My top 100.
Do you know that he's writing another one because he wants to do like Austin Powers as like an older man kind of thing?
You know, that might be interesting.
I thought the movies were they were okay. I only find Mike Myers like funny occasionally. I do think one of the worst things it did though was everyone thought they can do an Austin Powers impersonation. Remember that like 2-year period of time where everyone did an Austin Powers? Yeah, baby.
With the teeth.
But he did bring back the word shag, which I really like as a euphemism for sex. I like shagging as a euphemism, so I like that. So there's no way critics like this. I'm gonna say I'll go first on this one. This has got to be low, but it was still funny. I'm gonna say a 50.
That's what I was going to say. So I'm going to say the same thing. 50.
Okay.
So let's see who lost. Probably the guy with the scar on his head that's being made fun of.
Well, do I need to give you disability points? Should you automatically get like a minus 10 points on the score because you're deformed now?
That reminds me, why does golf have a handicap?
I don't know, but you would be a great golfer at this point. So 1985's Mask apparently is much well received, I guess, by critics. You gave it a 75. I gave it a 70. You are beating me by 5 points right off the bat because that one scored a 93.
Holy cow.
I might have to re-watch that one because that surprises me that it's that big. I'm with you, though. I'm not really a big Cher fan, so maybe I won't. So you're definitely ahead there. Next up, since you and I had the same score, 75 and 70, Scarface is pretty fresh at an 82. So once again, you're beating me by a few more points. So we have a 10-point difference. And then you're going to win the game because the final score, we both picked the same score. So you're automatically going to win. But just to let you know, we were both really close. Austin Powers Gold member, we both guessed a 50.
Mm-hmm.
The critics gave it a 53. So you and I were pretty dead on that one. And actually, to be honest with you, we were pretty damn close with Scarface. You guessed 75. I mean, that's only 7 points off. You were 3 points off for Austin Powers. And you were 18 points off for Mask. That's actually not that bad. That's a pretty damn good score. That might be your best one.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The movie Mask shouldn't have got that many points. So we should be.
I think you're probably right. That one was definitely like, this one's a very courageous story about this man overcoming a disability, and so they probably gave it more points than it deserved.
That was like that movie with Giovanna Ribisi and Juliette Lewis, where they acted full retard.
Yeah, they went full tard, which, as you learn in Tropic Thunder, you never go full tard.
And they did that, and that movie probably got a lot, but it did get a lot of flash. What do they call that? Feed. I got a hole in my head. Can you help me with this word?
Like they got a lot of flack?
Yeah. Affleck. They got a lot.
Affleck.
Got a lot of Affleck.
Well, I think on that one, we should end it and just pray that you can make it through another week without cutting another part of your body open and survive another week. Or at least listen, if you're gonna die from some of these injuries, can you at least get all the editing done for the season 5 of Listen to This first before you cut any more pieces of your body off?
Yeah, I could probably do that. And by the way, I love the title of the one, which might be the first episode, songs with really long titles.
Yes. That was great? I like that one. That one was fun to do.
That was like the hardest songs to find because that's so many words to look for.
There is one in there from the band. Oh gosh, what is it?
The very first one is 74 letters long from the Kinks or something.
Yeah, and there's one from like Sufjan Stevens that is literally like 40 words long, and that's the name of the song. And so that one was a fun one. And please, everyone, listen up to a future season coming of that in just a few weeks. And obviously, go to This Is Funner. There's a lot of great stuff on there. Conversate with us. Once Upon a Time in Springfield and all kinds of stuff to go check out. So go to This Is Funner.
Yeah, and I apologize for not keeping up on all those last couple of days. I kind of had an accident, and family life's been a little weird, but we're gonna get back on the ball next week when I'm not bleeding from my forehead.
Unless he cuts like his butt on something. I mean, who knows?
I mean, that would just be for my OnlyFans group. But other than that, talk about.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, before we offend any other people or say anything else stupid, why don't we go ahead and leave for the day, and we'll join you next week with more hilarious comedy.
All right. Go, like he said, go to thisisfunner.com. Everyone, we'll catch you later.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.